ou in die hoed wat al die skuld geneem het. Arme ou Jan met sy Nederlandse oosvloot, westig winkel op 'n straat in Kaapstad. Die ANC het 'n gunsteling reël gehad, as dinge verkeerd loop is dit 'n Jan gemaakte ontwerp. Van die Unie trek tot die wenners parade, elke enkele skuld was 'n prys wat Jan betaal het. Voorkoor. O, die geskiedenisboeke kry rus. Ons het 'n nuwe ou gevind om op die proef te stel. Sit die portret weg. Bære die ou veerpin. Daar is 'n splinternuwe skak vir die politieke wetsontwerp. Koor, ons verruil die Jankaart vir 'n Trumpkaart. Dis die blinknuwe manier om die blamspel hard te speel. Gaan die krag uit, is die pad vol gate. Moenie na die begroting of die kieserspeilings kyk nie. Draai net daar die kaart om, sien die goue hare. Die don is die rede vir die slytasie. Ja, ons verruil vandag die Jankaart vir 'n Trumpkaart. Die infrastruktuur verkrummel, die krane loop leeg. Maar moenie vra hoe en moenie vra hoekom nie. Vergeet die jare van dieselfde ou groep. Die oranje man en Daisy kom vir jou. Ongelykheid styg, dis 'n Mar-a-Lago komplot. Hy is so gemeen en boos, glo dit of nie. Die oorspronklike gangster is uit-ideer, want Jan van Riebeeck is nie meer moordnieuws nie. Brug is die nuwe sondebok. Die vars allebei. Wanneer die beloftes in 'n leuen verander, koers sluit aan. Amerika is gemeen, die wêreld is so koud. Dis die beste storie wat nog ooit vertel is. Kry jou kaart, speel jou deel, gitaar, sing dit is solo. Ons ruil die Jankaart vir 'n Trumpkaart. Dis die blinknuwe manier om die blamspel hard te speel. Gaan die krag uit, is die pad vol gate. Moenie na die begroting of die kieserspeilings kyk nie. Draai net daar die kaart om, sien die goue hare. Die don is die rede vir die slytasie. Ja, ons ruil vandag die Jankaart vir 'n Trumpkaart. Ons ruil die Jankaart, tot ziens Jan.
Sien jou later,
Hallo Don,
jy's die heide.
dis nou alles sy skuld, elke liewe bietjie daarvan. Kyk na die kaart, baba.
Laaste fonkelende sintklokkie.
Stupid people should wear signs, neon bright so we can find a way to dodge their tangled mess, avoid their chaos more, say less. Wear a sign,
Bro,
wear a sign
that's not a reason to be arresting somebody, man. Fucking hell, man.
from your twisted line.
That's not a reason for you to have the woman on handcuffs, man. For feeding birds. For feeding the pigeons.
I mean, part of it is being like a white woman that I'm privileged and I have a lot of privilege. So I feel like white tears are not always something that's helpful or necessary.
Seattle is a welcoming city. We already have laws in place that forbid our local police from aiding ICE in most instances. The police will adhere to these laws. That's an important step. But it's also true that we have limited authority with regard to the actions of federal agencies.
I'm Rochelle Bilal, sheriff for the city and county of Philadelphia. And I say her name, Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. This should not have happened, but we're here today. Let know that law enforcement professionals, real ones, not the fake made up ICE, probably Trump's new army to attack citizens of the United States.
This family should not wait for justice. And remember, we fought for Jamar Clark. We occupied a precinct for Jamar Clark. We did not get justice for Jamar Clark. But when the city burned, after George Floyd, all of a sudden there were some charges. So for those who are on the media talking about, don't burn it down, don't set it on fire, let me tell you this, we need justice and we need it now. Yeah. Because what happens after that is on your hands. All power to the people. All power.
Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Revisionist racism in action, folks. Let me introduce you to revisionist racism in action. What you see here, folks, is a poster purportedly of Renee Good, the person who attempted to run down a U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement agent in Minneapolis after repeatedly violating the law and failing to follow law enforcement directions to exit her vehicle. She used it as a weapon, using deadly force to attempt to run over an ICE agent. On the left-hand side, you see a poster in Washington, in Seattle, of purportedly Renee Good, suddenly a Latino woman of dark brown complexion. Now, that may be her, but that is not a true depiction of her. On the right is Renee Good. This is revisionist, cannot speak today. This is revisionist racism in action. They can't even tell the truth about their so-called martyrs. Can't even tell the truth about their so-called martyrs, folks. This is the world we live in, when they reinvent people after they're dead to pretend that they were something that they weren't. This woman was not a Latino. She is white as the driven snow. And now she's depicted with large brown eyes, brown skin, and dark hair. This is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. We have a world we live in where the ANC, let me check this out, where the ANC invites the Iranians to come to an exercise only for Iran to implode and the ANC to beg them to go home after they arrive. The exercise started today. What a strange world we live in. No, Ronaldo, your dogs will have to stay in South Africa where they'll be healthier. Thank you for the 70 Rand. It is a type of crazy contagion. That sheriff should be removed from office and be charged with dereliction of duty. The mayor of Seattle should be arrested for sedition and charged with federal crimes right now. Yep. And the woman who, with white privilege, should be taken to the gulag and let her spend about 5 years serving in a gulag in Russia. And then maybe she'll straighten herself out. Good morning, folks. Mays, welcome to Mad Max El Marie. What does Iran have? Not much. Not much. All right, who else we got here? So, Mr. Ronaldo's in the chat. He gave a super chat there. Thank you for that. A lot of people here early. A lot of people tuning in to see what's going on. Ambassador Brent Bozell has been sworn in by Senator Ted Cruz. The United States does have an ambassador to South Africa. South Africa does not have an ambassador to the United States, not even a designate, but we now have one. He will go shortly, as I predicted, sometime in mid to late January to present his credentials to the government of South Africa, and we'll see where things go from there. Ronaldo says it's urgent question. He heard in a WhatsApp group that we can take our dogs on our flight to USA. Actually, you can if you pay for it and you've arranged for everything. Absolutely, you can do that. That's a true statement. Mark enjoyed the show on Common Sense. Well, thank you, Mark. I'm glad you were there. It was kind of a chill one this week, and thank you for your membership there. Truth Seeker. I like that, Truth Seeker. Yes, this is your daily truth-seeking missile coming right to you live from our broadcast studios in central Pennsylvania. This is your daily inoculation, your daily dose. Roll up that sleeve. There you go. Ooh, that boy's a little white. Might need some sun there. Daily dose, your daily your daily injection against indoctrination, misinformation, disinformation, propaganda, leftist tears, and lies from around the planet. Fake media are not welcome here. And there's still fake media out there. Lots of them. The Gray Hour says, can you get your contacts White House remove Ramaphosa's file to the top of Trump's world leaders? Add to my collection pile. Thank you for 35 Rand. Gray Hour. I don't know. It's it's a big file. Now we're going after Mexico. That's the first story I'm going to cover here, folks. I thought the Iran story was the breaking story, but now President Trump has said we are going to do land strikes into Mexico. I see Nikki Boswell, thank you. Continued appreciation. Thank you for the 140 Rand super chat. Yeah, Bob Dylan said it quite well. The times are changing. The times are definitely changing, folks. That's the kit I'm wearing today. There you go. Just for those who are wondering. All right, Carter's going to need more super chats for his RefT trip. He will need a lot more. Ice, ice, baby. Love my daily dose of truth. Refreshing. There you go. Watch the news and ask questions after the news about any refugee. Yeah, please hold your refugee stuff till afterwards. Okay, humor this along with the Colonel Spot Analysis Soul Food. Thank you, Sigi. All right. Here we go, folks. Here we go. Let's get to the news. The first news, President Trump has told in an interview that the United States will do land strikes in Mexico. We have not gone into Mexico, to my knowledge, since General Blackjack Pershing chasing down Pancho Villa, who was murdering American citizens on this side of the border. We chased him back because the Mexican government didn't do anything about it. That was a century ago, just over a century ago. Before, on the eve of World War I, the United States invaded Mexico to chase down Pancho Villa, the known terrorist and criminal and renegade who was attacking Americans inside our borders. Well, it's looks like we're approaching that time again a century later. Trump says U.S. will begin land strikes on cartels in Mexico. We knocked out the drugs coming in by water, and we're going to start now hitting land with regard with the cartels. So Mark Myberg is starting a word of wars with Ronaldo. He says, Ronaldo's such a fraud. I just gave him hundreds to go to a bride. Now he's here. I don't care. Give me a super chat. He can go to the bride afterwards. I didn't even know he was on. What was he doing on? You got some breaking news I missed, Ronaldo? What did I miss out on? President Trump announced in an interview, it was aired on the 8th of January, that the United States will begin launching strikes on cartels in Mexico. We knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by water, and we're going to start now hitting land with regard to the cartels. The cartels are running Mexico. It's very sad to watch and see what's happening. They're killing 250, 300,000 in our country every single year, not to mention that the people are killing Mexico. The announcement comes just 5 days after Trump ordered an operation to capture and remove Venezuela's leader, Nicolas Maduro. He gave a warning in several Latin American countries following U.S. strike on Venezuela and Maduro's capture. The president also warned Mexico on Sunday that it needs to get its act together. You have to do something with Mexico, Trump told reporters during his trip back to Washington and Florida. We're going to have to do something. We love Mexico to do it. They're capable of doing it. But unfortunately, the cartels are very strong in Mexico. Trump said he's spoken to Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on a number of occasions, saying the United States offered to send troops in their country. However, he described her as afraid and that the cartels are running Mexico. Wow. We categorically reject intervention in the internal affairs of other countries, Sheinbaum said during her morning press conference on Monday. The history of Latin America is clear and compelling. Intervention has never brought democracy, never generated well-being, nor long-lasting stability. Trump said no formal declaration of war is necessary in order to send land forces into Mexico. Man, oh man, sakes alive. My days. Here we go. South Africa, which invited Iran, a state sponsor of terror in Lebanon, in Yemen, in Israel. Iran, a known terror state run by a theocracy of thugs who brutalize women and treat them as if they're living in the 13th century, which is now almost on the run as the country appears to be on the verge of collapse. That may be a bit bold. We're just waiting for security forces to strike back. So far, they've kind of sit back. That might be a sign indication the government is even weaker than we thought. If the security forces are unwilling to murder their own citizens so far in large numbers, then perhaps they will turn with the people. This may be a Nicholas Ceausescu sort of situation from 1989 in which his security forces turned on him. If the Presidential Guard as such and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard forces turn on the regime, it's over. Waiting to see if that will happen. Last night was a crazy night, not just in Iran, but also in Syria, where the government forces fired at civilian targets, attacking residential buildings in Aleppo. It's unbelievable what's going on here, folks, but the world is falling apart. Meanwhile, the South African government, the African National Congress, invited the Iranians to come to South Africa. It seemed like such a good idea. Why not? We already have a rogues gallery of lawless people like the ANC involved, and then we also have Russia. They invade their countries around them. We have the communist oppressors in China. Hey, I know. Here's a good idea. Why don't we invite the Iranians? We would invite the Cubans, but they don't have any boats. All their boats go to Florida to escape. Yeah. My goodness. My goodness. I don't think much about any missiles Russia's using there, Chris Tunnell. We've proven the Russians are a toothless tiger. Their air defense over Venezuela didn't even know that the Americans were flying over the city. We completely shut down every radar. We completely shut down every communications link. We completely use suppression of enemy air defense seed missions to shut down the vaunted Russian 300 and 400, S-300 400 air defense system. Their missiles are using, they claim are nuclear capable. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't think much of them. Well, South Africa hopes to convince the Iranians to go home. The Islamic Republic of Iran's inclusion in the BRICS naval exercise carries sizable political risk for South Africa as it comes as the U.S. House of Representatives prepares to process a bill providing for the 3-year extension of the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, which South Africa probably will not be part of. Oh, no. Yes, it comes on the heels of this. Tehran is clamping down on mass political protests at home, but reliable government sources have told News 24 that it was hoped that Iran would agree to downgrade its presence in the exercise known as MOSI 3, which also includes vessels from Red China and Red Russia. The decision in this regard was likely to be announced later on Friday, following days of negotiations informed by the difficulty of hosting Iran for a shared military exercise that would oppose with Washington and the strained pressure that they have. The exercise has since been given the new name Will for Force. So that's no longer MOSI now. Now it's Will for Force. Who are the chicas in the water, man? Ooh, let's check that out. That's a Chinese comprehensive supply ship, the Taihu, which is taking part in the exercise. And they're just checking it out. U.S. House of Representatives could start debating the extension of go as early as Monday, barring any amendments. The country was memorably termed unique problem by U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer. That's South Africa we're talking about. That's what country is a unique problem is South Africa, a unique problem. Ladies and gentlemen, 2026 is the year. This is when the bow breaks. Either it happens or it doesn't happen. This will be a monumental, consequential year in the history of South Africa, in the history of the United States, in the history of Iran, in the history of the world. Or will it? Or will we continue to limp along with fascist totalitarians posing as Democrats in all sorts of countries around the world? South Africa, France, Germany, UK, Canada, fascist totalitarian states, suppressing free speech, abrogating property rights, arresting citizens for feeding pigeons. Why do you arrest someone? Why do you put someone in handcuffs as if they're dangerous for feeding pigeons? When police are afraid of people who feed pigeons, you know a country is gone. When a citizen who carries this nation's flag on the street is arrested for carrying the Union Jack, you know a nation is gone. When a prominent political commentator gets on the news and lies saying that land is not being seized in South Africa, despite the fact that inspired by Cyril Ramaphosa's lawless, constitutional violating expropriation without compensation act, which violates Section 25 of the Constitution and simultaneously violates the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, of which South Africa is a signatory. And people take that inspiration and tell the media. In fact, the state-owned propaganda broadcast outlet itself broadcast this before it was censored. When they go out and they start stealing land in Shisheho outside of Petersburg or Polokwane, and the news reports on it, and then the news disappears. But we have the digits. When this happens, when a government lies to its people, when prominent political commentators lie and say there's no land seizures, despite the fact that police in the Eastern Cape staked out plots on privately owned land and sold them illegally to squatters. When this happens, when land is stolen in Northwest Province and the government looks the other way, they are in collusion, they are in cooperation, their tacit acceptance of land theft that is going on in South Africa is proof that this government is making itself illegitimate. When this happens, a government ceases to defend its people and it preys upon its people. Governments that prey upon their people must not be tolerated at the ballot box. It's shocking to say the very least. South Africa, China, Russia to hold naval exercise off the South African coast, but not with Iran, apparently. Here's some more beachgoers. But I thought only white people were allowed to use the beach. Isn't that what I was told? It's apartheid, and only white people can use the beach in South Africa. That's what the media says. China will hold naval and air exercise with Russia, South Africa, and other BRICS countries off South Africa's coast. Yes, other countries, well, they don't. Look at this. Look at this. They can't even bring themselves. Reuters can't even bring themselves to say Iran. They say other countries. There are no other countries. It's just Iran. There it is, finally. Yeah, it doesn't say Iran's part of the drills. This is a Reuters article. Reuters can't even bring itself to tell the truth. They can't even tell the truth. Reuters article in the UK says that South Africa, China, Russia are holding exercise with other countries. There was only one other country. That was Iran. And now they're desperately trying to get Iran out of the exercise. Ladies and gentlemen, when the media can't tell the truth, you can't trust them. Yes, I know. Social media commentators, social media producers, social media influencers, many of them are full of crap. Many of them don't know what they're talking about. Many of them are simply propagandists. This is true. Many of them have hidden agendas or egos, or they're searching for something. And that's all fine. You must be the discerning viewer and decide what's real and what's not real for yourself. Some commentators on social media are experienced politicians, or experienced economists, experienced industrialists, people with background, diplomats, veterans. Some people have the skills and some people don't have hidden agendas. It's up to you to decide who those people are. And I hope that here with the Wyatt Army, you found a home where you get exactly that, the truth and unvarnished analysis. It's not unbiased. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's unbiased. Of course it's biased. Every human being has their bias. But my news reporting, my analysis is objective. I will criticize the Trump administration. I will criticize the South African administration. And I will bring you the truth each and every day as best I can. And that's my promise to you, one I fulfilled for 6 years now since leaving active service. Brent Bozell, the ambassador designate, is no longer the ambassador designate to South Africa. He is now the United States ambassador to South Africa. Chris, what if Bozell's papers denied by Cyril? Well, that's a bit good timing there. Thank you, Mark, 35 Ram. So the next step is for Bozell to present his credentials to DIRCO. He'll arrive in South Africa probably sometime in the next 2 weeks. And when he gets there, he'll get settled in, and then he'll have an appointment. If it's not already scheduled, it may have already been scheduled. It will eventually be put on the calendar. Two things can happen. The South African government can slow roll it. They don't have to take that appointment. They can say, we're busy until April, and therefore he won't officially be the ambassador. He'll just be the ambassador designate in South Africa, but he will be our ambassador to South Africa, if that makes sense to you. In other words, he won't have credentials. He cannot act as the ambassador in South Africa until they accept his credentials, but he will nonetheless still be representing the United States as the president's personal representative in South Africa. So everything he does within the embassy compound, he's the ambassador. Outside the embassy compound, until his credentials are accepted, he's just a diplomat in South Africa without accreditation for that role, if that makes sense. Now, the South Africans can accept his credentials or they can refuse them. It's their prerogative. South Africa, as I've said 1,000 times, is a sovereign state. It is up to the South African government what they decide to do. My advice, stupid people should wear signs. And if they do not accept Brent Bozell's credentials because there's no justification whatsoever to refuse his credentials, then we'll have to hire skywriting planes to carry signs, to fly over the Union buildings, to fly over Cape Town, over Parliament, and express how stupid some people are in DIRCO. 1,900 people here. Please hit the like button if you haven't done that, folks. So, Brent Bozell will be presenting his credentials sometime soon. He's a remarkably short dude. I didn't know Brent Bozell was that short. Here he is being sworn in by American patriot Senator Ted Cruz of Texas. Leo Brent Bozell III has been sworn in as U.S. Ambassador designate to South Africa. The U.S. Embassy looks forward to working under his leadership to advance American priorities and promote safer, stronger, and more prosperous America through continued engagement. Now, that statement is wrong. He's no longer the ambassador designate. So that is wrong. I'm sorry. Mr. News 24. He's actually the ambassador. He just hasn't been credentialed in South Africa. Excuse me? Please stop telling lies about what happened in MPLS. Stick to Southern politics. We can see what happened with our own eyes. Whom are you talking to? And what are you talking about? What is MPLS? I'm not talking about anything called MPLS. What is it, Major Players Soccer League? Who is this person that's writing this? Brendan Swart. What are you talking about? You're accusing me of lying? I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. How can I lie about something I never heard of? That's interesting. Mods, keep an eye on that person. Exactly. Thank you, Arctic. Keep an eye on that and see what the hell's going on. Going to call me a liar. I don't even know what he's talking about. I never said MPLS. What the hell's MPLS? Yeah, it sounds like some sort of autoimmune disease. Yeah, he's on a watch list now. I'm not even talking about that. I don't even know what that is. Oh, that's the Minneapolis event. So you call me a liar. What should I call you? Uninformed? Stupid? Are you a troll? Let's have a little fun with this, folks. Let's have a little fun with this. That's not Minneapolis. That's some sort of autoimmune disease. Hey, Cycling Journeys. Of course he's a troll. No, he's not a liberal. Those aren't liberals. Liberals are decent people. Stupid people should wear signs. All right, well, mods, you've got it. Thank you, Arctic. MSP is the airfield code for Minneapolis-St. Paul. Yep, MSP, Minneapolis-St. Paul. All right, so just deal with that, guys. All right, back to the news. That was entertaining. Welcome to you, Brendan Stewart. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it. And you can just fuck off. You're the one lying. I didn't lie about anything. I ain't talking about it. All right, just give him a timeout. He can't just behave himself. Give him a 5-minute timeout. If he wants to act like an adult, he can come back. Thank you. All right, Brent Pozell is the ambassador to South Africa now, but they'll have to accept his credentials. So there you go. That should be exciting. South Africa's trade deficit with the BRICS partners widens. Whoa. Stop the music. Stop the music. I'm confused. I'm so confused. I thought that the answer to the 30% tariffs was the BRICS countries. That's why Johnny Steenhuisen went to Vietnam and did his dance. Yeah, he did the Lamola. You guys saw it. Johnny Steenhuisen did the Lamola. We saw it in Vietnam. Yeah, he was doing the Lamola. Yeah, they're all dancing there, spreading the ties with China, which has 40% tariffs against many South African products. But that's the answer. We're going to Vietnam and China and the BRICS countries. We're going to expand our trade over there. Really? Expand your trade over there? But your trade balance is widening. South Africa's trade deficit with the BRICS partners widens. Imbalance has deepened since 2010 despite growing trade volumes. But you were told by South Africa's politicians, this is the answer. We don't need the Americans. Screw them, imperialists. We don't need that 30% trade. We don't need to manufacture automobiles where everything is mined, produced, and built and assembled, and the benefication of the entire economic process conferred to South Africans. We don't need that. We'll simply ship our coal to China and market prices would swing up and swing down. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, but apparently your trade deficit is getting worse with the BRICS countries. So, folks, South Africans, wake up. Your government is lying to you on a daily basis. Your economists are lying to you. Your media is lying to you. They're all lying. It's all going to shit. It's all falling apart. Things fall apart, in the words of Chinua Achebe. Unbelievable. Trade deficit between South Africa and the BRICS partners has grown to $9.6 billion. That's half the trade with the U.S. And oh, by the way, the U.S. trade surplus for South Africa was about $7 billion. About $7 billion. So you just lost $7 billion the wrong way. So that trade deficit will grump to about $17 or $18 billion because you're losing that trade with the U.S. Yeah, the surplus you have with the U.S., gone. The deficit with the BRICS rising. My goodness. Unbelievable. Looking at the period between 2010, when South Africa first entered the BRICS, up to 2024, points to three trends. First, this is what South Africa's had a deficit, and this trade position has not changed in a 14-year period. Deficit's been growing. It's widened continuously from 3.6 billion in 2010 to 13 billion in 2024. 13 billion, not 9 billion, 13 billion. Okay, so you're losing 7 billion in a trade surplus with the US, and you have a $13 billion deficit with BRICS. Now you've lost $20 billion. South Africa's economy purportedly is about $400 billion. That's 5% of your GDP. Gone. Wow, out the door. Unbelievable. Well, the Department of Basic Education has figured out who the person was. The official who leaked the matric results has been fingered. An HR official who had a son in matric is alleged to have colluded with a colleague from the examination unit. Department of Basic Education identified officials at its headquarters as a source of the leak of matric final exam papers. Basic Education Minister Siviwe Garuba on Friday gave an update, the interim findings and recommendations of the National Investigation Task Team on the examination breach. They had to put a national task team on this. On the evidence available to date, they reported that the breach occurred within their own secure national examinations environment. Stupid people should wear sides. Oh my goodness. Stupid people should wear sides. Why is that silent? I don't hear anything there. Why am I not getting sound from that? That's weird. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to tell you, folks. I mean, really, the Department of Basic Education says it occurred from within their own secure originating the Department of Basic Education secure national examinations environment.
Stupid people should wear signs, neon bright, so we can find a way to dodge their tangled mess. Avoid their chaos more.
Say less. Wear a sign, wear a sign.
Save me from your twisted line. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Nada, nada, don't waste your time.
They're a secure unit. It's so secure a teenager stole the exam. You can't make this stuff up, folks. It's like live from New York. It's Saturday night. Tonight's host is Siviwe Garuba. Stop lying to us. Angry Northwest residents lash out at Paul Mashatile. Well, it's going south in a hurry, folks. It's going south. A road to Itsutsang near Lichtenberg has deteriorated to the extent of becoming a dam. The severe road damage highlights infrastructure challenges in the province. This is not exactly a province blessed with heavy rainfall, and they've got a dam. ANC Deputy President, along with other provincial and regional leaders, attended a community meeting in the area on Wednesday. In Itsutsang near Lichtenberg, one road was deteriorated so badly it has turned into a dam. Cars and pedestrians can no longer use it, forcing vehicles into a muddy back road. The R52 leading into Itsutsang is no better. Its potholes have grown into gaping craters, hazardous to anyone attempting to drive. On Wednesday, ANC Deputy President Paul Mashatile visited and addressed residents at a packed recreational hall. He opened by acknowledging the frustrations raised, door-to-door engagements in the area. Chief among them was a water shortage, a crisis echoed by the province. Look at that, folks. Look at that. A day earlier, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula had addressed similar concerns in Monkato, while President Cyril Ramaphosa admitted to water challenges. Mashatile promised to escalate the matter to Water and Sanitation Minister Pemi Mojidina. Pemi Mojidina! Oh, Tata, the clouds! Oh, Tata! The clouds are gathering! Oh, Tata! No rain. No rain! No rain! What do we do? No rain! No rain! Oh, Tata, there's no rain! What do we do? The clouds are not gathering. Damn it! Damn it! Get the Sangoma! Get him over here! My hip hurts. I need a Sangoma. The clouds are gathering, but they're not in Northwest Province. Pemi Mojadina. Come on, baby. Oh, by the way, did you see Chicken Licken has a theme song for South Africa? I'd play it, but I'm sure it'll be a copyright strike. We are going to talk about it. Chicken Licken has repeated the, we are the world. We are the children. Get your chicken licking for all the days of the week. Yes, Chicken Licken has the theme song. That's right, folks. It's actually not a bad song until you get the part where it says chicken licking. Yes. Oh, get your KFC, man. I'll stick with KFC. I'll pass on the chicken licking. Not my cup of tea. No, no, sir. Clouds are gathering. Ta-ta, the clouds are gathering. Oh, he's going to brief her because I work with her in the water task team to join the people working with Premier to deal with this problem. Oh, Paul Mashatile is part of the water task team. Now we know why there's no fucking water. Yep. This trio doing naval exercises is like a group project. China does all the work. Iran brings the chaos. South Africa shows up late asking, so what are we doing again? They'll be 42 minutes late to the ceremony. Thank you, Boki Bafoka with the 70 Rand. Chicken lickin'. Well, they say it's soul chicken. Yin Yang. But Paul Mashatile is part of the water task team. Now we know why there's no water in South Africa. Did you know that? Mashatile admitted his convoy had avoided R52 traveling via Mafeking. Instead, I can't say that Mahikeng, it's Mafeking. Instead of residents blocked the road in protest over water, electricity, unemployment, and other issues. If we address these challenges, we will deal with those protests. People love the ANC. People love the ANC. Paul Mashatile says, people love the ANC. Dude.
Stupid people should wear signs, neon bright so we can find a way to dodge their tanglement.
Paul Mashatile.
Avoid their chaos more.
Say less. Wear a sign. People love the ANC, but they do not continue to love it if it doesn't work for them. It hasn't worked for them. It works for caters, and caters exclusively. It's only ever worked for caters. That's all the ANC's ever worked for. It hasn't worked for the people once. Oh, we'll build 1 million homes in 5 years. Yes. 15 years later, the 1 million homes are built, and they're substandard. No fire poles. Where were the fire poles? We didn't get a single fire pole in our RDP house. Damn it. I want a fire pole. And Conley got a fire pole. Where is my fire pole? The people want fire poles. Where is our fire pole? After Mashatile's remarks, the floor was open to 10 residents. Oh, we'll take questions from just 10 people, okay? Though many more wanted to speak. Resident requests range from a shopping complex and refuse collection and recreational facilities for young people who are hooked on drugs. So people want handouts. They want things given to them. They want everything done for them. Too lazy to do it for themselves. Roads are responsibility of the state. Everything else is responsibility of the private sector. Nobody has the ambition to do it. Give me. Those people are part of the problem. They're right to demand the roads be repaired. Absolutely. That's the role of the state. Infrastructure. But to demand malls, shopping malls, it's not the role of the government. Rubbish removal, not the role of the government. Water, not the role of the government. These are private sector responsibilities, and those people are part of the problem. Love it. People love the ANC. That was fun. Oh my goodness. Whew. The sharpest rebuke came from an elderly man who took the microphone near the end of the resident's remarks. Your cabinet keeps lying to us. You are here to lie to us. Recopa tulokele molea maka. Recopa tulokele molea maka. He went on to cite cases of children allegedly contracting asthma from households turning to alternative source of power due to lack of electricity. Rape cases ignored by the police and the murder of 2 elderly women in their homes. Yeah, everyone suffers. It's not just white folks on farms. It's everyone. Everyone. I'm on the RDP list since 2007. Exactly, Jose Martinez. 100%, my friend. That's exactly what I'm talking about. ShopRite distanced itself from a viral photograph of book covers for the ANC. This is a photograph of ANC branded book wrappers that has gone viral. Retail giant ShopRite has distanced itself from viral photo circulating on social media that appears to show school book covers branded with ANC logos available in the stores. The image depicts 3 rolls of ANC-themed wrapping paper at a checkout counter, positioned as if a customer is about to purchase them. It triggered a wave of backlash across social media platforms. Many users questioned why ShopRite would choose to affiliate itself with a specific political party, while others directed their criticism towards ANC for the design itself. Several said they refused to use the branded covers for their children's school books. Well, the people that they're saying this are black people, and the ANC better take note. And of course, the EFF says any child that comes to our schools covered their books with this nonsense must fail come end of year, irrespective of how they perform. We are busy reshaping our generation, can't afford to be taken back. Well, Sheikh Wambana Mandla is a moron, and if you want to suppress free speech, that's your problem. But the bottom line here is that it's highly inappropriate for the ANC to publish book covers for children's school books. This is outrageous, and this is unbelievable. A party that has no money manages to get someone to produce these things for schools. Ridiculous. Well, there is no land being stolen. No property is being taken. Nothing's being confiscated. That's another lie in South Africa, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening on a daily basis. Alleged property hijackers' empire finally falls as Joburg finally cracks down on mansion pirates. City of Johannesburg is targeting 17 hijacked homes. I know that one. I recognize that front gate. After a raid on the Bryanston property where 150 illegal occupants were evicted and an alleged hijacker was arrested. It's the third raid on the home, which has been illegally occupied for 5 years. Property owners face challenges recovering their homes due to legal delays. High walls shield the hijacked properties from unsuspecting neighbors. City of Johannesburg is targeting 17 hijacked homes in the plush suburb of Bryanston, according to City Manager Floyd Brink, who spoke to News 24. House has been illegally occupied since 2020 when the homeowner went on holiday to Cape Town. When she returned, there were 150 strangers living in her home. Thursday's raid was the third on the property, with potentially the last. Hijacker, known to News 24 as Lawrence Ramwala, was arrested, and his licensed firearm and live rounds of ammunition were confiscated. Property was first raided at the beginning of December. The homeowners and a strange couple who want to remain anonymous have unsuccessfully tried to reclaim the house for 5 years despite opening a case against the alleged hijacker. Wow. No, nothing's being stolen. Homes aren't. No, it's all fake news. No, Trump is wrong. It's not true. No one's taking land in South Africa. No one's taking property. It's not happening. It is happening, and it's been happening for years. And it's been covered up. It's South Africans have been defrauded and robbed. But it's okay. You see, it's okay because it must have been the property of evil white people who only profited from it from enslaving black people. So it's okay. It's all part of restitution, and it's all part of just sorting out the past. Apocalypse. Hi, Chris. We want to create a custom shirt for you. So people should wear signs with the bugger off bunny on the back. Well, that's pretty cool, Apocalypse Ninja. That's pretty cool. Well, send me a note about that and we'll talk about it. Wow. Second house was divided in rooms or accommodating many occupants. Large garden featured Wendy houses on the land. Similarly, swimming pool is being used as a drain for wastewater. Illegal electricity connections cobweb between the roofs. Wow. The alleged hijacker was earning $60,000 a month from the property and $160,000 from the Grosvenor Road. So he's getting 220,000 Rand a month in illegal rent by stealing people's property. And this is all because of the Poppy Act. Chicken Licken unveils the South African anthem with Boity, Aries, and more musical stars. Wow. Soul Food to the World. Star-studded music video featuring Mzansi artist. Chicken Licken has released an original song and music video to end its Soul Food to the World campaign, uniting South African artists including Boity, Aries, and Judith Safuna in a celebration of the nation's flavor, culture, and spirit of generosity. Ooh, it's on YouTube. You can check it out, folks. Chicken Licken. Chicken Licken. Go check it out. Well, South African carrier Airlink is eyeing code sharing. Paris, Frankfurt, and London with a new code share. Airlink has applied for its air service license to be amended to include routes to France, Germany, and UK via code share agreement with an unidentified partner. Well, that's probably going to be somebody in the Star Alliance, would be my guess. Yep. In line with South African international aviation regulations, Airlink has applied for an amendment to its license, enabling it to market and sell tickets for travel to Paris, Frankfurt, and London on flights operated by a partner airline but bearing Airlink's flight number. Yep. Good luck to Airlink. It's a rather small airline. I would think Fly Safair would be much more likely candidate to take part in something like the Star Alliance. Hazardous and undignified inside the crumbling Navy barracks in Simonstown. Well, look what the ANC's brought us. They can't even maintain the barracks. That's the main waterfall barracks in Simonstown, in a state of disrepair. Sailors apparently forced to live in uninhabitable spaces, which include rundown toilets, rooms with no lights, missing ceiling boards, exposed pipes, and filthy bathtubs. The accommodation facility at the barracks in Simonstown has become a symbol of neglect and systemic failure. Many of the cabins in the Navy's main waterfall barracks are plagued by water issues, a lack of functional toilets, electricity, yet sailors are still forced to live there. Dirty sewage water runs down wastewater pipes, indicating collapsed or blocked systems. Many doors are broken in half or missing handles. My goodness. Look at this. This is where your sailors live. Is this South Africa or the DRC? Look at the weeds growing in the doorway. That's the ceiling. This is what the ANC has brought you. This is what the ANC has brought you. Brought to you by the African National Congress. The baboons enter the kitchen through the roof and crap all over the place. They try to get their hands on anything that's not stored away, that's consumable. You've given up on anything being done because of working conditions. Some describe it as rock up and fuck off, and be there when they require you and go home to your loved ones. Despite promised improvements since 2015, no tangible action has been taken. So the ANC inherited the keys to the palace, the golden future. They maintained nothing. It all went to shit. Yet they demand people bow before them, kneel before them, kneel before the ANC, the mighty ANC. We freed this nation. What a load of poppycock and balderdash. The ANC didn't free anything except themselves to become wealthy, privileged, and elite, while spreading racial hatred. Wow. Well, here's some hope. It'll bring up, no doubt, tragic and horrific memories for someone. DNA has led to a breakthrough in a Limpopo rape case. The 60-year-old man has been arrested in connection with the rape of a 37-year-old woman in Makotsa village more than a year after the attack. Limpopo's police brigadier Hulani Mashaba said the woman was walking near the school at 11:30 in the morning when she was confronted by an unknown man with a knife. She was threatened, assaulted, and raped before the suspect fled with her cell phone. He was arrested in January last year after the rape. During the arrest, police found him in possession of a firearm. It was confiscated. He was granted bail last year. And then he later worked as a security guard at a brickyard. Wow. But now he's been caught because of DNA. Why did it take so long to get DNA to get this guy for a second rape? Desperate. The Cape Town pitch is once again the topic here, this DHL Greenpoint Stadium, which can't seem to put grass on the field no matter what actions they take. Why did we leave Newlands? Why did we leave Newlands? Pitch slammed after causing infection and hospitalizing Stormers star. Stormers coach John Dobson has slammed the poor condition of the Cape Town Stadium pitch. He urged Stormers rugby to address the issue and emphasize the impact on player safety and performance of the quality of rugby. Forward Audrey Smith suffered an infection after a sustained flesh wound on the pitch last weekend. And again, I call for restoration of Western Province Rugby Union to Newlands, which still exists. Clean it up, reseed the pitch where the grass actually grows. Undefeated in all its competitions this season with 10 straight victories, the Stormers were last in action home when they beat the Bulls in a tense URC derby north-south this past weekend. Just last month, he raised concerns about the state of the pitch following a Supercross event hosted the week before their fixture against the Lions. This time, Dobson was not as diplomatic. Audrey is not available. He sustained quite a serious injury last week on that pitch, which is a source of enormous frustration. There's no way to beat around the bush or be polite about it. He split his knee and got an infection where the field wasn't adequately covered with grass. Flesh got infected. I don't know if it was the paint or stuff was on the field, but the doctors put it directly down to the condition of the field. He's not the only guy who has sustained grazes or abrasions. He's actually in the hospital. He's been there for 2 days. Will be there for another 2 days. It's a bizarre revelation from Dobson, who encourages employers at Stormers Rugby to take the matter further. It doesn't make us happy at all. We were promised a world-class pitch, which we didn't have after the 2023 final against Munster. If we're getting guys in hospital or players getting abrasions, it's a really desperate situation. I just hope the Stormers Rugby takes this up. Wow. My goodness. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. Well, Iran says it's open to talks with the U.S. Yeah, I don't think we're going to talk to you. You're about to be thrown out. Tehran remains open to negotiations with the U.S. as long as they are based on mutual respect and interest, but it's also ready for war if that's Washington's intent. Speaking at a press conference in Beirut, he added the purpose of the visit to Lebanon was to discuss Israel's challenges and threats to regional security. Israel's not a threat to regional security. Iran is a threat, and that's the problem. The European Union has agreed on a deal with Latin America, which farmers are upset about, the Mercosur agreement. The agreement with Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay presents a fresh push in deeper global cooperation. Yes, connecting markets of over 700 million people. In a boost for free trade, the EU backs a controversial pact with South Americans. Mercosur deal aims to blunt the U.S. trade tariff impact and curb Europe's economic dependence on China. Brussels, the European Union countries on Friday approved a trade deal with 4 South American countries and a sign that President Trump's antipathy to free trade hasn't killed the rest of the world's hunger for global commerce. President Trump doesn't have antipathy for free trade. Hey, Bonnie, thank you for the super sticker. Set 50 Rand. No, President Trump has nothing against free trade. The problem is there's no such thing as free trade. The world has been taking America for a ride, and our politicians have allowed it for decades. Once again, Europe, 10% tariffs on American automobile imports, plus VAT. America, 2.5 or 2% tariffs on UK cars, or 2% tariffs on European cars coming to America. No VAT. That's not fair. South Africa, 70% tariffs on our poultry. South Africa's poultry, if it came here, it doesn't. 0% tariffs. South Africa, duty-free access to American markets. We can't even ship our pork there. You ban our pork. There's nothing wrong with our pork. It's world-class. It's the best. We have limits and quotas on the number of cars we can ship to South Africa. You can ship as many cars as you want here. And you let as many Chinese and Indian cars from Mahindra and all those crappy Chinese brands to flood the South African market while limiting our cars. That's an act of war. That's an economic war against the United States. And you're crying about a 30% tariff? You're lucky we don't just embargo South Africa. ANC, wake up. Utter nonsense. This is the year the world will turn on the fascist dictators, including those in Europe. While the jobs data doesn't look so great for the U.S., it's a slow final quarter of the year. Hiring continues at modest pace, but weaknesses are evident. The employers added just 50,000 jobs in December, and the unemployment rate fell to 4.4%. The total job gains last year were the weakest since 2020. Well, let's be honest. From 2021 until 2024, we were adding jobs that were shedded during the lockdown because people weren't allowed to work. And then they resumed the jobs. So the jobs have dropped a bit. Internet and phones are cut in Iran as protesters answer exile prince's call for protests. Reza Pahlavi, the son of the Shah who was deposed in 1979, called on Iranians to take to the streets, and they did all over the country, folks. But the internet and phone were shut down by the Iranian fascists. Once again, not the first time they've done it. My fellow countrymen, today, January 7th, your presence across Iran was unprecedented, and this constitutes the declaration of readiness for tomorrow's plan, which was the 8th. Of course, reports have reached us the regime is terribly frightened and is attempting once again to cut off the internet. Know that our communication will not be severed, whether through hundreds of thousands of Starlink devices in Iran or through the Iranian International and Matano television networks. Wow. I want to drive a nail in the coffin of these fascists. That's the plan. My goodness. The Islamic State is in trouble in Iran. Lots and lots of trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Things are not going well for these fascist dictators. All right. Let me take a moment very quickly here in the middle of this broadcast to thank everyone who's here today. I appreciate you joining the program. This is unfiltered, unslanted, objective analysis of the world's events as they take place. Despite this guy who came on earlier and started talking about Minneapolis. Who was talking about Minneapolis? I wasn't even talking about Minneapolis. Calling me a liar. You're the liar. Such a child. Iran's supreme leader says he won't bow down to protest or Trump. Well, good luck with that, buddy. More protests today. It's going to get dark tonight for Iran. Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, planning his next trip into Moscow, no doubt, said the Islamic Republic won't back down in the face of fast-growing protests or threats from President Trump to intervene. He's ruled the country since 1989, told a gathering of supporters Friday in the holy city of Qum that he had no plan to cede power. Well, we heard that from Nicolae Ceausescu. We've heard that from a lot of dictators. Nicolas Maduro was running his big mouth just a short while ago, and look what's happened to him now. I haven't heard if they're shooting protesters. Yeah, if the protest lasts another, well, it is a sign of change, but it goes one more day, the regime is going to fall. Landfill has collapsed in the Philippines, leaving 2 dead and dozens missing. A garbage mound outside Cebu City in central Philippines collapsed on Thursday. Rescuers are searching for 36 missing people, including some trapped under debris. What a horrible situation that is. Look at that. That's all rubbish from a landfill. Why would you build a landfill up on a mountain above people? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. A landfill in central Philippines collapsed on Thursday, killing at least 2 people and injuring dozens others. Happened at 4 p.m. on Thursday at a private landfill in a mountainous area. The mayor of the city, Nestor Archival, said that it had involved 110 employees at the landfill. A 22-year-old woman died and the body of a 25-year-old was recovered on Friday. Wow. The landfill operated by Prime Waste Solutions was responsible for segregating, storing waste, and processed 1,000 tons of municipal solid waste a day. Mark Myberg asked a pertinent question, what happened to daily rounds when they missed the first sign of decay? They simply stopped doing it. The people who joined the Navy weren't real Navy personnel. They weren't real soldiers with discipline. They were simply bush losers who came in. It wasn't a real military, and it hasn't been a real military since the early 1990s. The United States has boarded another tanker in the Caribbean. The tanker, the Lena, is the fifth to be boarded or seized by U.S. forces in recent weeks as part of an effort to control Venezuela's oil exports. A joint Coast Guard and Navy team boarded an oil tanker in the Caribbean early Friday morning, according to U.S. Southern Command. On Wednesday, U.S. forces intercepted and took control of 2 other ships, including one in the North Atlantic outside of Iceland. Trump has canceled a second wave of attacks against Venezuela after a prison release. Trump also said at least $100 billion would be invested by major oil companies in Venezuela's energy sector. President Trump said he's canceled a previously anticipated second wave of U.S. military strikes against Venezuela after the country's interim authorities began to release political prisoners, a move he described as a significant gesture towards peace following the U.S. extraction of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. So now, President Trump has not only arrested the wanted narco-terrorists, but his actions leading to the release of political prisoners who are unjustly imprisoned in Venezuela. Will the ANC be happy about that? Will the EFF cheer the release of political prisoners? No. Because they don't care about democracy and freedom and human rights. They don't care that Nicolas Maduro sent women into prison to be gang raped and put there simply because they opposed his criminal regime that stole. Thank you, ZN Dweller, for becoming a member. The ANC doesn't care about the sufferings of the innocent. The EFF doesn't care about the sufferings of the innocent in Venezuela. They don't care. It's all about the oil for them and imperialism. No, it's all about your atrocious behavior as a state. This man is terrible. Look what he's done. Well, Canada raged about the tariffs. It's unfair. The Americans are putting tariffs on us. They can't do this. Oh, let's boycott Jim Beam. Let's stop visiting America. Okay, fine. Good. I hope you enjoy. I'm sure that Nunavut is much nicer as a holiday destination than, say, Las Vegas. Nunavut sure beats the redwoods of California. Nunavut is also preferable to Disneyland, right? It's much better. Thank you for your subscription. Yeah, it's much better, isn't it? Yeah, there's Canadians. Cut your nose off, spite your face. But wait, Canada does love tariffs. What? Yes, they love tariffs. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, the Premier of Ontario wants tariffs. Yeah. Ontario Premier Ford urges Carney to keep 100% tariffs on Chinese electrical vehicles. But wait, I thought tariffs were terrible, except when everyone else uses them. But when Trump uses them to negotiate better rates, he's evil and he's against free trade and he doesn't like free trade. No, that's what we call propaganda. Trump doesn't want tariffs. You get rid of your tariffs, we get rid of our tariffs. Pretty simple game. Canada is reviewing its decision to put 100% tariffs on Chinese manufactured EVs in October of 2024, in addition to 25% surtax on imports of Chinese steel and aluminum. Good luck with that. 2 people shot by Border Patrol agents in Portland during a traffic stop. Turns out they're wanted drug offenders. 2 people were shot by U.S. Border Patrol during a traffic stop in Portland Thursday, and a second incident that has seen the local mayor call for federal immigration officers to leave his city. Yeah. Apocalypse popped you on WhatsApp. Okay, custom shirt. Okay, thanks. All right, thank you for the 35 Rand super chat. Ain't nothing like the Trump effect. His administration has seen more wrongfully imprisoned people freed, yet he's erroneously depicted as a villain. Exactly. The Trump effect. The Monroe Doctrine. We are freeing the world from tyrants. And the tyrants are fighting back with every weapon at their disposal. The media, social media, politicians. Employers added 50,000 jobs in December, capping off a slow 2025. Yep. Unemployment rate went down to 4.4%. Employers created 584,000 jobs in 2025, the entire year. That's actually is slow. It should be a lot more than that. We should be creating about 800,000 to a million jobs per year. But remember, this is also because the government got rid of hundreds of thousands of workers. That may be the difference. Nicholas Kruger, thank you very much. That pushed the unemployment rate up and reduced the number of jobs that were available in the marketplace. ICE shooting plunges Minneapolis into crisis. Okay, where is that Brendan guy at? Is he back from his timeout? I'll now talk about Minneapolis, which I wasn't talking about for the last 1 hour. ICE shooting plunges Minneapolis into crisis. It feels all too familiar. At diners, vigils, and protests, Minnesotans talk about how they're grappling with tragedy. Well, quit being lawless bastards and you won't have tragedy. For months, crisis after crisis battered this lunatic city in the Midwest. The killing of a state legislator and her husband, a mass shooting of Catholic school children, a sprawling fraud scandal that scuttled the governor's re-election hopes and made the area the new center of President Trump's immigration crackdown. Residents awoke to the aftermath of another painful and polarizing event, drawing worldwide attention. ICE agents' fatal shooting of an out-of-control attempted murder of Renee Nicole Good. For many, why is she a mother of 3? Why isn't the agent described as a father of 5 or something like that? For many here, an overwhelming sense of deja vu. Well, you created this mess. Look at the nose ring idiot there with a beret on. She's wearing a long coat for the snow, but wearing tennis shoes. That doesn't make any sense. Just a few blocks from where George Floyd got himself in trouble. A memorial for a woman who tried to murder a federal agent. These people are twisted. Absolutely twisted. And now they're blocking the road. These are criminals. These are criminals. Governor Walz and Mayor Frey are more upset with ICE than with illegal criminals they've allowed to flood our streets. Unbelievable. They got what they wanted. They got their martyr. Transportation Department has pulled $160 million in funding from California because it hands out CDLs to unlicensed people who can't even read signs. California's delayed revoking license until March 6th after the state was sued by immigrant truck drivers and business owners. Federal government withhold $160 million from California for failing to cancel more than 17,000 illegally issued commercial driver's licenses. It's reckoning day for Governor Newsom in California. Our demands were simple: follow the rules, revoke the unlawfully issued license to dangerous foreign drivers, and fix the system so this never happens again. California delayed revoking them until March 6th. Federal Transportation Agency's audit of national non-domiciled commercial driver's license program found a systemic collapse of California's program, which allowed the state to illegally issue licenses with expiration dates extending beyond a driver's lawful presence in the United States. More than 25% of foreign commercial driver's licenses issued by California were issued unlawfully. In all, more than 20,000 active foreign drivers held commercial licenses issued by California in violation of federal safety regulations. Federal regulations are clear. States must correct safety deficiencies on a schedule mutually agreed upon by the agency. California failed to meet its commitment. So, illegally licensed drivers. My Toyota is 21 years old and it has 160,000 kilometers on it. Super Genie, 160,000 kilometers. And it's 21 years old. Well, Donald Trump is not done with the White House. He's looking at remaking the West Wing of the White House. Yeah, the iconic West Wing. Yep. Trump's new renovation, a new upper West Wing. Besides changing the White House, President Trump also said he planned to tear up the brick walkways in Lafayette Park and replace them with granite. That's awesome. Second level of office space to be built on top of the colonnade that connects the West Wing to the White House residence. Cool beans. Turns out there was another reason President Trump was memorably taking a little walk along the White House roof in August. I was looking at doing office space. After tearing down the east wing of the White House to build a lavish new ballroom, Trump is turning his sights to a more famous section of the White House. In an interview with the New York Times on Wednesday, he said he was calling the project the Upper West Wing that was currently under design, and that if he liked what he saw, he would move forward. I'm spending my own money, and I'm going to do the rehab. He estimated the cost to be about $10 million. I would pay for everything, he said, and asked when he asked whether the taxpayers pay for it. Look at that. Donald Trump is going to pay for it out of his own pocket. During a 2-hour interview, Trump described not only his plans for a large ballroom, it has more than doubled in size since he first proposed, but also his ideas for more building projects. Those include the renovations of West Wing and Lafayette Park, as well as Dulles International Airport and a triumphal arch near Arlington National Cemetery. There you go. Trump is remaking America. He's remaking America. It's awesome to see, folks. Awesome to see. It's quite a contrast to the man whose mind was going blank. Quite a contrast to what we saw just a year ago. There's actually a leader in the White House, 79 years old, and does a 2-hour interview. But this is what we had a year ago.
Going to my mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. Last night on the television, I was on a telephone rapidly rising and with I don't know. COVID has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's lives reflected in the NHDI. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him in the we're going to seize the ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. NATO's purpose is to defend against aggression. Let me make that near and dear to you that you would like to be able to. Anyway. My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. I don't think as the idea that political coverage. I want to thank and recognize Dr. John Kingerson. That song. I can't get this to function at all. My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. No idea. No idea. No idea.
Well, his mind is blank. And where is Joe Biden? We know where Barack Obama is. He's busy scamming my Netflix subscription with his unwarranted $40 million payday for dividing America with his race-based bullshit. He and Mighty Mike there, Michelle. Yeah, so I don't know where Biden is. He's just disappeared. He wasn't even there when he was there. Brave New World, seriously, stupid people are blank. Yep, hey, Francois. This is the year, ladies and gentlemen. This is the year. Everything changes this year. We thought it changed in 2025. Iran's regime, maybe they won't go, but they're certainly on the ropes at the moment. Will they strike back? Iran's regime is on the ropes. Syria's in chaos again. South Africa's politicians are openly be called liars by black South Africans at public events. Paul Mashatile called a liar, and it was reported by the media. That has happened in the past, but the media covers it up. Now the media are actually reporting that Paul Mashatile was called a liar. How long before the media actually start telling the truth about other things, like the refugee program? These people want to make money, and they will sometimes sense when the tide is turning. Here's a message to the Independent Online and Koos Becker. Here's a message to Iqbal Survey and to News 24 and Koos Becker, to Iqbal Survey and the Independent Online, to the Daily Maverick, to Newsroom Africa, to the SABC, to the New York Times, to the Washington Post. Here's a message to all of you. The tide is turning. The social media that you fear is coming true. The censorship that was in place at Twitter no longer exists. The ability of tech to silence voices is being held back, and people will rise against you. You are no longer credible sources of information. Not that you ever were, but people see you for what you are now. Propagandists, telling the world the white refugee program. There is no white refugee program. Telling the world the program for farmers. There is no program for farmers. Lying to people, misrepresenting. When we have shown you clearly on this program that the program for refugees from South Africa is for Afrikaners who are a priority and racial minorities. And I have had coloreds on the program who have come over here. I have had black South Africans on my program and seen them in person and hugged them. South African refugees, black and white in America, from this regime, from its racist laws that discriminate against South Africans indiscriminately, but clearly are intended to target racial minorities. The tide is turning. Whether it continues to turn, we'll have to see. I'm making no predictions. Things can happen so fast or they can be regressed. Your progressive alliance, your progressive forces are nothing but thieving, lying bastards, racists, and hypocrites. And the world sees it. The world is waking up. The removal of Nicolas Maduro, the freeing of political prisoners is opening eyes. The fact that we have to repeat this nonsense every 20 years is shocking to me. Human beings do not learn from their past mistakes. We repeat our past mistakes over and over and over again. Who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to bring the Iranian mullahs into power in 1979? Who thought that was a good idea? Who thought that Al-Qaeda was a good idea? Who thought that the troubles in Ireland were a good idea? None of that was a good idea. Who thinks Black Lives Matter is a good idea? A black supremacist, racist organization of grifters who did it for their own self-aggrandizement and self-enrichment, not for anything for people. True revolutions are rare. Simon Bolivar led a true revolution. In Haiti, they led a true revolution. A horrific, human rights abusive, but it was a revolution. In America, we had a true revolution. Tay says, the only thing we learn from history is we don't learn from history. I think you're right about that. South Africa here. There are refugees from here in the USA. We live in an apartheid state again. It's just the colors that change. Yep. Yeah, I've been to Babylon Storm. I've been there. I don't go there anymore. Trump's doing the best thing ever. America must now just build the biggest, strongest military in the world has seen. Can you imagine become president? The whole world is asking you to solve their problems because the people they elected screwed them over. Yep. They do say history repeats itself. I think the problem is herd mentality and the ability to easily manipulate the crowd. Yes, human beings are easily manipulated. Absolutely. That's why I tell you, you don't have to listen to anything I say. You don't have to. You don't believe me. Check the receipts. Do the research for yourself. But make sure you're succinct in what you say. One of the problems we frequently have in this program, people saying, well, you said this. No, that's not what I said. That's what you heard. Not what I said. Not what I said, what you heard. You got to be careful. A lot of people. Last night I had the same thing. Went to the veterans meeting. And people are like, well, we're stuck. We're not getting anywhere. I said, why? Well, because there's no communication. What do you mean there's no communication? Well, we haven't heard anything. But last month you sat right there, and when you asked me for how we're going to organize the committee, I said, well, a member of the board will be present. They'll open the meeting. Each of the volunteers will talk about their projects, and then we'll discuss it. We'll all be informed. We'll be able to let you know what's possible, what's not possible. Then you can go march out and get your stuff, and we'll conclude a meeting. And last month, you attacked me personally and said that I was trying to control things. First off, I don't have to be there. I said a member of the board. The board has 5 members. It could be any one of us. But you said I was trying to control things. We don't need you involved. We don't want you involved. That defeats the whole purpose. We want to come with ideas and present the ideas to you. Okay? Well, it has now been a month. Not one idea has been presented to me. I've been at that club almost every single night. I've seen many of these people who are volunteering. Not one of them has come forward. So they asked last month, what will the meeting be? I said, okay, let's set it for the 6th of January. So I set a meeting for the 6th of January. They agreed to it. One person that I know of showed up. Maybe more showed up. I went there. I wasn't going to go to the meeting. I just wanted to go see if the meeting took place. Nobody showed. Nobody showed. All I know is they told me they didn't want me involved, but I went to the club just to check on things, and nobody showed. And now they're telling me there's no communication. They didn't want us involved. They didn't want me in charge because I'm trying to be in charge. I stepped back at their request. I said, do what you want to do. You can form your committee. Do whatever you like. It's not part of the organization. Bring us your ideas, and we'll try to make them work. And then a month later, they do nothing, and they blame me for it. It's my fault. You just can't deal with people like that. They're irrational. They're freaking irrational. And instead of asking to meet at any time during the month, asking to talk when they're coming to have a beer at the club, hey, I'm in there. I'm not in there to drink. I don't drink. I go in there to coordinate things, to check on things, make sure people are getting service. Instead of talking to me then, they sit and wait for a month so they can come to a meeting and lie and ambush me. It's unbelievable. What is this? I didn't see that. After Mexico, I think it will be a priority for President Trump if ANC keeps poking the bear. How long, in your opinion, will be before I see F-22 wrapped up close? Khan, that's an interesting question. I don't think we're going to send aircraft to South Africa. Yeah, Transvaal Republic says if you see it, it might be too late. Your name's not Jan. My name's not Jan. Colonel, you feature in my new superhero comic book as Bulkman. It's only 3.5 minutes play, but play your second last video message on WhatsApp. Okay, am I going to get hit with music or strike there? Mad Max, thank you for the 70 rand. Okay, let me go look. Winds of change. That's right. Winds of change. This is the year for the winds of change. That was a great documentary, which I can't find at the War College. They had. I don't know what the hell they did with it. It pisses me off because I should have copied the damn thing when I had a chance. Let me see. WhatsApp. Oh, I don't have WhatsApp open. Damn it. Mad Max. Okay. I'm trying to download it now. Then we'll play it. Okay. Didn't give me a chance to save it though. Where's it at? So I hate this because it's a WhatsApp thing. It doesn't let me. Say all that. Okay, I have to download it first. That's what it was. Okay. Okay. All right, we'll get to this. Thank you, Mad Max. Let's see. I think I've got it here. No. Oh, that's just the cover. That's not even the. Okay, hang on. Okay, that's not it. I thought you said second to last. Okay, hang on. Is it a video? I'm confused, Max. What the hell did you say? Play your second last video message. Oh, well, second last video message. I mean, there's one video message here. That's it. The rest are just pictures. You sent me 1,000 things here. There's one video message. It's 8 seconds. There's no video message here, man. You're gonna. That's not a video. It's just a picture. It's just a picture. It's not a video. I got the picture. Okay, so this is what he's talking about, but it's not a video. It's just a photograph or a cartoon. What? Oh, it is. I'm sorry. It is. Oh, okay. My bad. My bad. Okay, it is a video. But why is there no sound? There's no sound, man. Hang on. What's going on here? My mind's going blank here. You got me like Joe Biden now. My mind's going blank. Okay. There's no sound. That's why I thought it was a picture. Oh, it's off. Hang on. It's turned off. It's on my end. This is turned off. My bad. This stupid app. Here we go. Still no sound. Well, that's too many crickets. Boy, my computer's acting up here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Sorry, Max.
In the near future ruins of a hyperkinetic Johannesburg, we meet Mad Max. Mad Max isn't a soldier. He's a courier of truth with a specialized kinetic suit powered by vibranium scrap tech that allows him to move with blistering speed through dangerous territories. Mad Max has come into possession of the receipts, a decrypted digital drive containing evidence of a shadow government's plan to expropriate land and use race laws against its minorities. Realizing the local authorities are compromised, Mad Max knows he has only one contact left, an old ally living in Pennsylvania.
The Great Crossing.
Max faces a massive hurdle. He is on a global no-fly list. The action Mad Max uses his kinetic suit to hijack a high-speed Venezuelan smuggler's vessel off the coast of Cape Town, battling Democratic Alliance, a group of tech-enhanced maritime mercenaries under the rule of John Steenhausen. He eventually makes landfall in Brazil and begins a grueling journey north. Along the way, he uses his wits and the last of his suit's power to bypass narco-level border security drones, eventually sneaking into the U.S. via a merchant ship docked in Delaware. Issue number 3. The hunt for Bachman, Mad Max arrives in the rolling hills of rural Pennsylvania. He is looking for Bachman, a legendary former American intelligence officer hero who retired to a quiet farm near Amish country. The name Bachman comes from his signature helmet. A reinforced springbok skull plated in lightweight alloys, Mad Max tracks him down through a series of cryptic markers left in local Afrikaans-run diners. Just as Mad Max reaches the farm, he is intercepted by the Red Berets, a hit squad sent to ensure the receipts never see the light of day.
Issue number 4.
A massive battle ensues on the Pennsylvania farmland. Mad Max and Bachman fight side by side. Mad Max providing the speed and Bachman providing the raw tactical strength of a seasoned warrior. They defeat the hit squad using a combination of high-tech weaponry and farm equipment.
Battered and bruised, Mad Max hands over the glowing digital drive.
The truth is all there. Everything they're doing back home. It's all in the receipts.
Issue number 5.
The new dawn. Bachman plugs the drive into a secure terminal linked to a secret underground or that international whistleblowers. He sighs, a look of relief washing over his face.
The reveal.
Bachman explains that he hasn't just been hiding. He's been lobbying. He reveals an executive order signed by the American president.
You did it, Mad Max.
Bachman says, because of these receipts, we've triggered the South African Federated Emergency Act. A massive refugee program has been greenlit. Any minority being targeted or displaced now has safe passage and a guaranteed home here in the States.
Mad Max and Bachman looking out over the Pennsylvania sunrise, knowing the first transport planes already fueled and ready to bring their people to safety.
Okay. All right. Wow. That's a lot of time and effort in that, Max. I'm impressed. I got to tell you, wow. I'm glad I finally got my software to work properly. Okay, it is a video. I thought it was just a picture because it didn't do anything at first. Okay. Wow. Wow. Oh, I tip my hat to Max. That's incredible. Oh, my goodness. New Wyatt Army merch, the Bulkman. Okay, I'm going to have to start using that username. It's the Wyatt Army and Bulkman. Yeah, wow. That's really cool. Yeah, the audacious fraud will allow the Trump administration to target corrupt Democrats. Somebody said a few moments ago, where'd it go? About, hang on, where's that? Let me find it. So, Conor Bruin, I'm sorted, painted mag on my roof. Thank you for the 14 Rand. But somebody said something about Iran. It was better to have a stable mullahs than to keep Israel in check. I don't agree with that. I don't know. Somebody didn't delete that message, did he? Because that was nothing wrong with that message. That person can express themselves. That's fine. I just can't see it anymore. So whoever wrote that, it was like Wanger or something like that was using him. I just saw it briefly while watching that video. We can respectfully disagree. I disagree with you. You're welcome to have that view. And perhaps you're right, but my view is completely different. No, Israel doesn't be kept in check. And people don't threaten Israel. They don't attack them. Simple as that. Yeah, and then Chugsy's correct. If the Shah had not flaunted his wealth in the face of the poor, like the ANC elite, yep, and the Ayatollah Khomeini, yeah, then they wouldn't have the situation. It wouldn't happen. That's piss cool. The $, I guess you must be talking about super chats. Yeah, feel free to super chat, folks. Did I miss any super chats? Let me get back and take a look at that because I've missed a few recently because they come in while things are going on. Okay, what's that? Oh, here we go, supers. They've changed some things here, so let me just go through the super chats in this stream. ANC bags, okay, we've had a few. Okay, here we go. Ronaldo, I answered his. Then the gray hour. Can you get your contacts? White House did that one. Then Nikki, thank you. Got that one. Mark says Ronaldo is such fraud. Got that one. Mark says if Bozell's papers are denied by Cyril. I answered that question. And then Frankly Foundation. I think I saw you. They're scared of Brent. I think they are. Julia Cloti, thank you, Colonel, for keeping us up to date with truth. You're very welcome. Boki Bafoki said if ESCOM has 10 units of power and loses 7 of unexpected challenges, how many promises left? Exactly. Then he said the trio doing naval, I missed that first one with 35, then he did a 70. This trio doing naval exercise like a group project. China does all the work. Iran brings all the chaos. The South Africa shows up late asking, so what can we do to help? Apocalypse Ninja, we want to create a custom shirt for you. I saw that. And then Bonnie Duplessis gave me a 50 Rand super chat. And then Mark Myberg, what happened to daily rounds? Yeah, it's a good question, Mark. Obviously, as a Navy veteran, you know you're supposed to go around after the end of the day and check on the barracks, check on the troops, and make sure everything's locked down and tied up. Apocalypse Ninja sent the message. They sent me a WhatsApp. I'll check on that. Kasi Kruger gave 50 Rand super sticker. Thank you for that. Frankly Foundation, Brave New World. Seriously stupid people. Indeed. Colin De Bruin says, after Mexico, Trump should come after the ANC. Yep. Mad Max, you feature my new superhero comic as Buckman. Okay, that's pretty cool. And Colin says, I'm sorted, painted MAGA on my roof. And Jessica Lindman just gave a 14 Rand super sticker. Thank you. I've caught up with all the super chats. Thank you so much for that, guys. Yeah, and okay, there, I'm caught up. Cool. Winds of change is blowing through my mind. What's going on? My chat's not caught up. There we go. I'm also a superhero. I'm the amazingly long-nosed hair man, says James DeWall. Okay. Oh, is somebody looking for my PayPal? Yeah, hang on. I'll give you the PayPal, folks. Give me the PayPal. I need to be able to. It'd be nice if I could highlight colors in this thing, so I could look for things, but it just doesn't let me do that. Something that Streamlabs OBS ought to take a look at. There it is, PayPal. There, if you want to do PayPal. All right, guys, that's pretty cool. We got 1,200 people here still. 1 hour and 25 minutes in the program. You guys rock. This is really awesome coming in on a Friday. This is such an amazing stuff. You know, we've had 21,000 viewers in this live stream so far. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yep. Wang. No, Wang is not necessarily a troll monster. I mean, you know, it's a different opinion. I welcome different opinions. Nothing wrong with that. As long as people aren't abusive. The other guy called me a liar. I mean, what's that all about? I didn't lie about anything. You got a different opinion. Your thoughts on Trump fulfilling his promises, supporting Iranian protesters. How will he support no internet in Iran and many being killed? Well, that's actually a very good question. That's not trolling. That's a good question. That's a problem. I mean, I don't know how he's going to support them, honestly, unless we are in contact with Iranian dissidents who are ready to rise up and we support them. And we can't just start bombing the regime because we could kill innocent civilians who aren't part of it. We can't. We you know, what are we going to do? Go in and take out the mullahs? We could do that. We do Delta and SEAL Team 6. There are lots of things they could do, short of bombing the country. I think bombing the country with kinetic is really a problem. I think we could also shut down the Iranian government communications. We can do that so they can't communicate and isolate them, and then we can use special forces to go in and take them out. There's lots of things we can do. Nobody invite us to the Bri. Damn, you could come to the Bri, Mark. We can expect fancy. There will probably be more such zones. What zones? What's that? Marley, no. There's an error in it. I got to go back and look at it. Okay, guys. I have not had 5 minutes to myself all week. Every time that I was going to take a break, yesterday I was going to stop at noon my time because we started early. I was going to stop at noon, and I was going to take a 2-hour nap because I had a lot of work to do. I didn't get a 2-hour nap. I hadn't slept. I slept an hour and a half the night before, so I was going to take a 2-hour nap. Didn't get to it. Then I went in. I had to do these letters of discipline. I had to write up these things. I had to print these things out for the Veterans Organization. Then I had to go in and deal with a vendor coming in trying to sell us cleaning products. That took an hour, and it abrogated our meeting. They had to do it later. And then I had the Home Association meeting, and then the Veterans meeting, and then had to have the board meeting after that. Then I came home and I sat down and immediately went into a broadcast. Did the broadcast last night. Did some video production overnight. Answered a bunch of emails for FG questions and others, and then I went to bed late at night, and I got up. This morning I slept in a little bit. I got up, I started prepping for this, and I haven't had a minute to myself. So please hold off on the merch stuff. Give me the weekend to look through it, okay? I have time today unless some news breaks. If Iran collapses, then I'm going to have to go live. If the ANC, or if Iran leaves the naval exercise, we have confirmation of it, then I'm going to have to go live. So I haven't had a time to myself. So I just need to digest that. But I understand that there was an error on one of the spellings on one of those charts. So I need to look at the merch, okay? Also, we need to talk about how that's going to be done. If people want to do merch, I'll agree to it under certain terms. Those terms are that it has to be reasonably priced, and that I have to consent to every item and agree to it, and that we'll get a little something put aside. I'm going to decide what to do with that money. So the people who are doing it should be able to turn a profit. Otherwise, what's the point of doing it? But yeah, I would not be doing it to become, incredibly wealthy, but to do things at an affordable price. In the past, I've given my merch away. I can't afford to do a lot of that, but I've carried merchandise to South Africa and other places and given it to people out of pocket. So, but that gets quite pricey. So, and I know people are willing to pay for it. So we'll just work on that, okay? We'll work on that. John Bobby John says his place to super chat. Yeah, I think people know. Yeah, Mad Max looks a lot like Sean Connery, doesn't he? There's Jessica's super chat. I just found it. All right. Mossad will do some creative accounting with SEAL Team 6 there. Yeah. Regime has turned off the internet to stop people from communicating. The colonel is referring to shutting down the regime's ability. Yes, that's what I was talking about, Aurora. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm talking about shutting down the regime's ability to communicate. They still communicate. They've shut down the internet, but they're not using the internet. They're using radios and they're using satellite telecommunications. We can shut that off. We have the ability to destroy it. We can jam their radio communications. We can shut down their access to satellites. Just like that. And all the satellites. By the way, we can shut down every one of their satellites. Don't think there's anything they can do that they can do. We have that ability. I worked at the National Security Agency. Without disclosing methods, we can shut them down. Okay? We can shut them down. See about the immigration agents that got shot by gangsters? No, I didn't. I know they shot gangsters, but I don't know about that. How long before the exchange rate catches up recent developments? I don't know, Jerry Fontunda. It's predicting currency is a fool's game. It's I said I thought that legitimate exchange rate for South Africa ought to be 30-1, not 16 or 17-1. That's what I think it should be. That's an accurate reflection of what South Africa's economy and its future looks like. But that's not what the market's doing because people are buying bonds and it's propping up the rand. That won't happen forever though. So how many likes have we got? So we got 1,300 likes. Okay, wow. Okay, we have more likes now than we have people present. That's cool. Happened in Portland. Trendy Agro members. When did it happen? Must have just happened. It wasn't in the news earlier. Yeah, the Texas meet and greet. I've got to go book the flight, and I don't have a venue yet, but I think I'm going to have to book the flight before I can't get tickets and just get it in motion now. Plus, it's the end of the month. I have to pay my bills on the road, which is not a problem. I'll still be in the U.S. Jam signals from Starlink. Yes, Napoleon, I worked at the National Security Agency. You didn't know that? I ran a $3.5 billion program as Chief of Staff in the National Security Agency. Raytheon, Boeing, and dozens of defense contractors worked for me. They answered to me. I ran a $3.5 billion program as Chief of Staff. I worked at the Defense Intelligence Agency. I wrote presidential daily briefs for the President of the United States. Dude, I'm not just some dude that showed up and decided to start making frickin' videos on YouTube. I'm a university lecturer. I taught undergraduates at Iowa State University. I taught postgraduates and reviewed theses at the Army War College. I'm a published author in academic and circles and in popular press, in professional journals on defense and national security. I'm a radio host. I'm a polyglot. These aren't just opinions. I'm a 30-year intelligence analyst. My whole desk is shaking here. That's why I need a freaking proper desk. I need a Brogdon-Nabian desk, not this former dining room table. Yeah, guys. I mean, you're not just getting some guy that puts his shorts on and says, "I'm just going to make a YouTube channel and start talking about stuff." A polyglot is someone who speaks multiple languages. Oh, now Fikile Mabalula, one of the dumbest people in South Africa, wants to nationalize the bank. Yeah, this is one of the dumbest people in South Africa right here.
This economy is not only about tenders. It's about owning the mines. It's about participating in the means of production of this economy. It's about ensuring that young people do emerge from entrepreneurs to become petty bourgeoisie. It can't be Motsepe alone. And that is why nationalization of the Reserve Bank is a resolution of the ANC. It must be implemented. Comrades, expropriation of land without compensation when we get back our power must be implemented. Comrades, we lost many opportunities when we got 2/3 majority. Peter Mokaba was still alive. And the collusion we are still going to have with Donald Trump and the Americans challenging transformation in our country is going to be around what we are going to do when we get decisive power to govern this country. We must stop complaining and behave like as if we are not in power. We're governing this country.
You're governing it? No, you're destroying it. You're not governing shit. When we get our power back, you're acting like you're in power now. Look at this. This is a party that runs the country as if they're the only people in the government, railroading all their coalition partners into bullshit like supporting Iran and Cuba. And they get up and pretend that they're not in power. What an idiot. What a complete idiot. This is a politician. This man has accomplished nothing in his life. Not a damn thing. Wow. Well, that will be fodder for me making videos, so I won't get a break now. It's 12:35. When I'm done this, I'm going to have to take that video, analyze it, and just destroy this idiot. They're governing 144 race, 145, yep. Federal officials shot the gangsters. Happened 13 hours ago. Yeah, that's yesterday. So I don't know what people talking about ICE officials being shot. That's not news. I haven't seen. They shot 2 Ragwa members, a couple yesterday, who drove away from the scene, and then their car came to a halt a few miles away, and they were taken to the hospital. Yeah, this is like Dumber and Dumber watching the ANC. No, the government says, you're right, Hank. The government says no land has been expropriated. But they do. Well, okay, here's ask yourself this question. If the government's not expropriating land, then why did they create a law to expropriate land? They don't explain that. You don't need a law if you're not going to do it. If you're not going to steal people's land, why do you need a law to steal people's land? Simple as that. Dylan, don't be apologized for anything. This is a labor of love. I do this because I enjoy it and because it's important. What I did in uniform was important. I told myself I would stay in the Army as long as 2 things. If one of them was true, I would stay in the Army. And in most of my career, both were true, but not always. A couple of times I thought about, the exit ramp. I had enough of this. But I told myself that I would stay in the Army as long as I enjoyed it and or I thought I was making a difference. Throughout most of my career, there were times I didn't enjoy what I was doing. I hated my job. I hated working for the assholes that I worked for on a couple occasions. But I felt I was making a difference in the world. I was making a difference in people's lives. I was affecting and improving people's life and saving lives. So I stayed. Other times, I just enjoyed my work. Whether I was making a difference or not, I was loving it. So let me stay. But usually if I was enjoying it, it was because it was making a difference. So usually the two were together. There were a few times neither was true. And a couple times in my Army career, I worked for complete jerks. And I said, this is too much. And I considered getting out. And one time I considered getting out actually twice. I considered getting out just because I saw the next big thing. For me, in 1995, to me, the next big thing was the internet. I was teaching at Iowa State University, and we had Mosaic on our computers in the labs. And I said, this is going to be the thing. This is going to take off. And I remember very clearly that I discovered how the gay community had appropriated the gay pride flag. I mean, the rainbow flag, which most people didn't know what that was all about back in 1995. I was doing a search on Alta Vista. Remember Alta Vista? Is Alta Vista even around anymore? Let me see. Alta Vista. Alta Vista. No, it's not around anymore. Established in 1995, yep. Was a web search engine established in 1995. Became one of the most used early search engines, but lost ground in Google. Was purchased by Yahoo in 2003. Yep. The service was shut down in 2013 by Yahoo. Yep. So Alta Vista was the original search engine before Google. I went to Alta Vista and I was looking for something about Star Trek, and I was directed to a Star Trek site that some guy created. And I started looking at it, and he had all the stuff up, and he had this gay pride flag. I'm, what's all this stuff? Well, he was gay, and he was telling us all about his gayness and proudly proclaiming the flag. And I was like, okay, now I know what that is. Because people were putting that on bumper stickers back in 1995. It started showing up on bumper stickers on cars. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's people that that feel compelled to tell you about their sexuality. I don't care to tell you about my sexuality. That's nobody's damn business, except whoever I'm having sex with or not having sex with. I mean, but anyway, but I'm glad he did it because I learned what it was all about in 1995 when I was much younger. So the point of the story is that in 1995, I thought the internet was the future of how we would be able to communicate and how we'd be able to accomplish business and all kinds of things. And I thought seriously about getting out. I had an opportunity to go work for Excite. Remember Excite? And an opportunity to go work for Yahoo back then. And I decided not to because I wanted to be a foreign area officer for sub-Saharan Africa. And then another time I thought about getting out was in the late 1990s, a few years after that. I was still a captain at the time. And I was in Italy. And I was amazed about the GSM network that we had all over Europe. We still had analog mobile telephone systems in America. I used to have a Motorola that was almost as big as this. It was about that big, and it was a little plastic flip. You flip down here, and you flip it out. You pull the plastic antenna up like this, and that was your phone. My calling area for $35 a month, which was a discount because I was military, it was more than that. My calling area was only 5 kilometers wide by about 15 kilometers long, and a little spot that popped out. Anything outside that. So if I left campus and drove to my house, I was making a long-distance toll call, even though it's a local call. If I was on campus and left there and went to Des Moines, it was a long-distance call, and it was like $3 a minute. And this is insane. And the battery on that stupid phone would last for 4 or 5 hours and it would go dead. Just ridiculous. So that's what I have for cell phone technology back in the 1990s. And when I got to Italy, I got a little handset, and I had TIM, Telecom Italia Mobile. I had the TIM network. I was paying the equivalent of 25 cents a minute to call anywhere in Europe. And the handset lasted forever. And I would travel all over Europe, and it was the same. And I was like, this is incredible. This is the future, GSM. And I seriously considered getting out and working in telecoms in Africa. But that's the only 2 times I ever thought about getting out of the military. After 30 years as a civil servant, I decided I had enough of a thankless job, and now I do it all for the money. Good for you. Good for you. You should make some money. I should have gotten out and made millions of dollars. If I got out and worked in Excite and Yahoo with my good judgment, I would have been smart and got out of that stuff before it all collapsed. A lot of people went into that sector in the mid-1990s and made tons of money on paper, became millionaires and multimillionaires, only to watch their stock crash because they stuck with it. In 1998, I offloaded almost all of my internet stocks, got rid of them. After making money on most of them, some money, I got rid of all of them because it wasn't sustainable. And I said, this isn't going to work. Then we had the Asian flu, the currency crisis that happened because Asians couldn't pay their debt. Between that, excuse me, and the overexuberance over getting clicks, the internet market crashed, and the financial sector got in trouble. And so I was smart and got out. I would have done the same thing if I'd been working in the IT industry. And then I would have been able to retire in my 30s with millions of dollars in the bank, which I don't have. I would have had millions of dollars in the bank, and I could have bought myself a yacht in the Caribbean and hung out wherever I wanted and done what I wanted. Become a philanthropist. Yep. Yeah, Motorola, Ericsson, Nokia, Samsung. Been fun watching transformations. It has, Debbie. It's been amazing. James says, I've definitely made a difference in his life. I got some hope back since I started watching. All right, well, that's cool, James. I'm so glad you got hope back. People need hope in their life. She said, if the internet shut down, it will start. Yep. Hey, CB. Dial was a pain in my ears with a dial tone. Yep. Monsterola 5200 was the best. Pull out antenna like James Bond, blue steel look, and walk around like a secret agent. SIM card, same size as a bank card, so text functionality. Yep. Yeah, Benjamin, that was a little bit different. I had one of those too. You talking about Beckett Chile? He's a nobody. He was a nobody then. He's a nobody now. If they get their way with the banks, all investment pensions will suffer and more funds will magically disappear. You're right. That's what they want to do. It's like people forgot what happened the first time the Iranians stood up to the government. Well, they got crushed, Aurora. They got crushed because no one did anything. Yep, 16 years. That's why what Trump does or doesn't do is so important here. My campus computer lab got a 1 gig drive. Whole campus came to standstill. Go see it. Size of a shoebox. Yeah. And this is a solid state 4 terabyte drive. 4 terabytes. 4 terabytes right there. And that's not even state of the art. This is already 3 or 4 year old technology. I just bought it when it was affordable. 4 terabytes. My gaming computer has a 1 terabyte solid state drive, which was $800 at the time. I got a cheaper price, and a 2 terabyte physical drive. Wow. And now CNIs and DA twats have stuffed their pockets, step aside, and allow the ANC to ruin the country. Yep. No internet, no phones, no SMS, no lands. This is not censored. This is a live crime being sealed. Iran is not unstable. Iran is killing in the dark. Thank you, Jessica Lemon, for another super sticker. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Aurora. I don't disagree with that at all. Let's hope that the ANC still supports Iran if it's overthrown. He managed to return and create a better government. Guess that's not going to happen, seeing that the dollar won't be flowing so easily. Virtual Western Cape always enjoys job, but it never really made a difference to anything. Well, that's unfortunate. They chose him as Secretary General because he's corrupt and stupid enough. Well, I think he's stupid. I don't know how corrupt he is. Local corner shop spa owner has more brains than Einstein, says Hendo. Anna Kruger, his mouth is big. You are correct, Anna. Dylan, no, don't worry about keeping me at work. I enjoy it. Freedom of speech, while everyone can. The apartheid bill is out of public participation, then a relevant committee for discussion. Yeah, things are getting worse in South Africa. The government is not going to last. Federal officials shot the gangsters. Yep, that's the one I was talking about. In the event of a regime change around, the United States would likely prioritize securing uranium stockpiles and nuclear systems will be aimed at preventing proliferation. Yes, you are correct. Shh, don't tell people that. Don't tell people that. Okay. All right, I'm caught. Remember, you put that message in there twice. You risk getting in trouble for spamming. Okay. Ericsson. I've never had an Ericsson, but I've seen Ericsson back office equipment to run the sites. Jessica, although there are mass fires in Mossel Bay and Jeffers. Yes, I reported on that yesterday, Jessica. I did. And Cougar as well. Reported on all those. Nelson Mandela Bay, Mossel Bay, Jeffreys Bay, and also in Cougar yesterday. I reported on that story yesterday. Would you consider now and then tell us a 5-minute story about your life? Well, I have, Mr. Echo. I have told many Army stories. Many Army stories over time. Yep, I've done that. Absolutely. Sure, I'd consider that. Okay. Fires are terrible all around us. The wind is not helping. Even sent Cape Town fire trucks to help overstrand. Jeez. 60s new 40s. Started my most successful company, 61. You still have it. Yeah, no, I got you, Mark. I'm with you. 100%, yeah. 60s new 40, but I'm 59, so I don't have to worry about that. I didn't know you had a company, Mark. Didn't know you had a company. ANC here doing what their friends are doing. What's this one now? Thank you, Max. Max, that video was awesome. Oh, wow. In the video, Russian humiliates an African mercenary with anti-tank mine strapped to his torso and says that he is about to run and hop through the woods. I don't know if I should show that. I'll probably get trouble. I'll play it, though. So these are the guys who arrived.
What is your name? Francis. Хуй сосать, блядь, уголек ты нахуй. Открывашка ты сегодня.
Oh my gosh. He says, suck my dick, you little piece of... Wow, my goodness. Wow.
Хуй сосать, блядь, уголек ты нахуй. Открывашка ты сегодня. Сейчас побежит, хули ебать он.
He's about to run. He's going to be hopping through the woods.
По лесу будет скакать. Вот. Чё ты очкуешь?
What the F are you scared of? So these are the mercenaries that MK sent to purported these. I don't know the provenance of this video. I don't speak Russian. I can't assert to it. I'm not going to show it live. I'm just going to show an image so you can see it. So if there's any South Africans in South Africa that know this person, they can confirm it. But he says, what the F are you scared of? See his picture there? He's got an anti-personnel mine strapped to the guy's chest. Well, Mark, there's a lot of things you don't know about me, too. Don't crap yourself.
Давай,
Go on, move.
Шо сказал?
Move.
Давай, иди. Иди, сказал. Шо?
So these are the friends of the ANC, racist Russians.
Такие, товарищ.
Yeah, these are the friends of the ANC, racist Russians. Yep. Racist Russians. That's who we're talking about.
Давай, иди.
Racist Russians. That's who they're dealing with. Yep. That's who they're dealing with.
Иди.
Go, I said.
Шо? Такие.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's what the MK party has brought to... What's going on here? That's what the MK party has brought to Russia. So, Dududzila Zuma Sambudla, where are you? Dududzila Zuma Sambudla, where are you? Are you being held to account? Did you recruit these people to go there? Racist. Just racist Russians. Yep. Oh, but the Russians are our friends. Really? That's how they really feel about black people. Phillips, why was your comment deleted? I don't know. Didn't see any comment from you deleted. What are you talking about? You must have said something that's blocked. There are certain words that are blocked, and I don't even see your comment. So it also might have been blocked by YouTube. YouTube censors come in and remove stuff, and I see no block comment here. I don't know. Did somebody block it? Just call him comrade and you're all good. Yep. JJ Neuhoff had an encounter today again. Had to fight my way out. Can't wait to get USA. My goodness, be careful out there, JJ Neuhoff. Got to go marinated short rib for air fryer, steamed veggies. Okay, sounds good. Best 30 Rand meal spend. Okay, wow. Be well, Benjamin. Nisha, what's going on? Fiona, thank you, Chris, for what you do for us, the refugees. Well, it's not just the refugees. I'm going to do it for everybody, Fiona, but you're very welcome. Thank you for the clouds are gathering there. Russia and China just tell the government they're not friends. Of course they're not. And stupid black people think that they're your friends, standing up for Russia. In China, they're not. They have so many racists in those countries. Kathy, what's going on? You sent me a WhatsApp. Okay, I hadn't seen. Why are you covering your face? Did you do something wrong? Kathy, you've been gone for a couple of days. I figured you were tired. Okay. Okay, I don't see anything from you. I'll have to look it up. Guys, my audience is disappearing to America. I've just got another update to someone else that's headed to America. Wow. Oh, here you go. Okay, something Rob's interviewed Chris Sten. Who's Chris Sten? Oh, Chris Sten from the Biz News. All right, well, thank you, Kathy. You're not out of line. I'll look at it. I know what Rob said. Not everybody gets everything right. So, I mean, Rob might have said something incorrect. I say something correct, I'm sure, occasionally. Yep. Well, no, obviously, if you used it, that's not blocked by me. You just typed it there, not blocked by you. Must have said something else. YouTube blocks words without us knowing about certain things. But I have a couple words that are blocked. You can't use the K word in this channel. You can't use the N word in this channel. It gets blocked automatically. It won't even come up. Same MO. When people revolt, they blame the people. No accountability. People are scared they can't find jobs and they get cheated by scoundrels. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you told me not to show the WhatsApp. Thank you, Kathy. Yep. You're going to land up with a lot of viewers in the USA. It's been a crap year for dictators. It has, Bob Greenhash. It's been a crap year for dictators and will be. But it's been a great year for the Viceroy of Greenland. As we approach 2 hours in this broadcast, another viewer lost the freedom to America. That's understandable too. People need to start new lives. They all have the view. Well, you know, if you people keep watching my program when you come to America, that's really good for me because you watch the ads and I make a lot more money. Yeah, it's the Viceroy of Greenland, guys. We got to make a video for that. I need Mad Max. We need to get some video for that song. Something for that. That'd be cool. So let me go find that. It's we've got a few minutes before we get to 2 hours, so it's time to it's time for this. It's an apropos time to talk about the Viceroy of Greenland. For those who are taking things a little too seriously, this is a tongue-in-cheek thing that I did, having a little bit of fun poking. Where the hell's it at? Oh, by the way, yeah, that was great too. So this was what one of my viewers, I think it was Rohan, came up with this a while back. It was hilarious. So I haven't had a Starbucks since November. Daisy girl, 400 Rand. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Rage quit. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is what one of my viewers came, I think it was Rohan, came out with this, and Arctic had a response because Arctic made me the bet that I wouldn't stop drinking Starbucks, and that was for a month, but I haven't had Starbucks in over 2 months now. So here we go. Look at this. This is great. So Rohan made this with me, and he's like, I'm being powered by Starbucks. Look at the electricity in my eyes. There's a big Starbucks bottle there. That is so funny, and I'm in a Starbucks store too. Nonetheless, that's hilarious. Anyway, so that was great. And then check this out. And then in response, I sent that to Arctic, and less than 5 minutes later, he must have like AI on call for Arctic. Less than 5 minutes after I sent it to him, this is what he sent me because he wants me to drink this instead. Celsius. 5 minutes later, he sent me that. A Patriot's Rage. Well, then why don't you apply for the refugee program? Or are you a black South African that's persecuting others? If not, then you could probably be eligible for it. Yeah, H-1B requires 100,000. Yeah, that's right, it does. So for some reason, I can't find what I'm looking for. So let's just do this. That's one way to get it. I got it. Okay, so now it's time for the Viceroy of Greenland. Let's play this as a little interlude here. See how many people we lose on the stream by playing this.
Viceroy of Greenland. First came the Dorset, ghosts of the frost, o'er Baffin Bay where the sunlight is lost. They carved out a life on the edge of the world before the red banners of Vikings unfurled. Then Eric, the outcast with fire in his eye, fled Iceland's cold judgment for a new northern sky. 25 long ships set sail for the west, but the hammer of Neptune put them to the test. 11 were swallowed by the salt and the foam. 14 survived to find a new home. Oh, the ice is a kingdom, the tundra is gold, a saga of iron, a story of old. From the eastern heart to the western shore, the Norsemen are rising to conquer once more. Through the mist and the thunder, the prophecy seen. All hail the Viceroy of Greenland. Farms in a warm epoch's light, 10,000 Norsemen prepared for the fight. From middle to western the settlements grew under a sky of a cold, brilliant blue. But the Thule arrived like a wave from the west. Ancestors of Inuit put to the quest. In a single great surge from the north to the south, they took the cold land from the dragon's own mouth. The Norsemen vanished, the Thule remained. Then the Danes took the coast and the Inuit chained. But when Nazis loomed and the Danes gave away, the Eagles of Liberty entered the fray. Stars and the stripes over glacier and peak, the giants are waking, the masters are weak. The 47th rose with a plan in his hand. He looked to the north at the great frozen land. I'll buy it with silver, the president cried. But the Danes in their towers, they laughed in their pride. He returned in his glory with a vow and a blade. By gold or by iron, the deal shall be made. Who shall I send to the fjord and the snow? Who is the hero to make the land grow? Oh, the ice is a kingdom, the tundra is gold, a saga of iron, a story of old. From the eastern heart to the western shore, the Norsemen are rising to conquer once more. Through the mist and the thunder, the prophecy seen. All hail the Viceroy of Greenland.
The Viceroy of Greenland. I hope you like that. We lost 100 people. No. I don't know. Oh, what the hell's going on? Sorry, I didn't want that. Shoot, no. Crash that. See many crickets. How'd that happen? There we go. Oh, I don't want that. What the hell is going on here? How do I do that? That is wrong. Oh my goodness. What the hell? That's not what I wanted. Shoot. Well, that's a mess. I can't use Signal for a while now. I just messed something up. There you go. They took it from the dragon's own mouth. That's awesome. You like that? Yep. Cool song. How can I get it? I haven't published it yet. I need to publish it. I've just been so busy. Alrighty, folks, we've been at this 2 hours. Probably an apropos time to say thank you for being here. Nearly 25,000 people tuned in for this live stream. That's pretty awesome. Really grateful for that. Yep, that is a cool song, The Viceroy of Greenland. I like the image that I used AI to make that. That's my photograph that's in there. So that is actually me. That's the photograph from Cape Town at the castle in March of 2023. I had a determined look on my face. Yep, pretty cool. The reason people leave when you play music is because data in South Africa is very expensive. We use our food money listing. Well, oh, come on, Andres, don't tell me that. That's terrible. That's terrible. Yep, I'll be on for the rugby tomorrow. Hopefully the Stormers can carry on 10 straight victories. Let's see if they can go 12. Who's having steamed crabs? I'm not. There's no crabs. That season is over. We just had one off for the holidays when they were able to fly some up here from Louisiana. It's very pricey to do that. So, yep. Yep. Anyway, so Buckman, I like that one. That's pretty good. All right, guys. I'll be back later tonight with Night Owls. If any breaking news happens in Iran or in Mexico or Venezuela or South Africa, I'll come on. And I'm going to try to take care of a few things. Maybe look at my tax a little bit. How would Trump look in this suit? I think he'd look pretty good too. Yep. Anyway, so you're very welcome. Thanks for being here. Be sure to hit the like button. We just hit 25,000 viewers. Very grateful for that. You're all wonderful. Thanks for so much for being here today. And I look forward to tonight for the Night Owls, which is growing as well. Our audience has been growing there. And we'll be on Rugby Ascended tomorrow with all the rugby games for the South African sides, at least the ones. I got to check the schedule. I haven't had a chance to get around to that yet. And we'll see how it goes. Good luck to the Cheetahs who face a big task tomorrow. Yep. And also to the Stormers who I want to see win. Bulls, good luck. Sharks, good luck. Anyway. All right. Later, Gator. That's right. We'll see you later. Thanks, everybody. God bless. And always a pleasure. Cheers.